Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex with you here as usual. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for tuning in. I am super excited about this particular video because I've got a really awesome chess set to show you guys. But before we get started, I wanted to take a second and acknowledge the fact that we have just hit 1,600 subscribers. Doesn't seem like it's a big number, but it is a big number to me, and that really just indicates that there's so many people out there that really care about my videos and about the content I make. So like I said before, and I'll say it again many times, I am truly appreciative for everybody who takes the time to watch my videos and takes the time to subscribe to my channel. So anyways, thank you guys. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, and I hope to see this channel grow, and I hope to see people benefit from my videos and basically get some enjoyment out of them. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started, all right? Today's video, I'm super excited because I'm going to show you guys this particular chess set. This chess set is the World Chess Championship set, the Academy Edition. I know this particular chess set design has been of interest to a lot of people. This is going to be the official design. You guys can see the pieces over here, at least the picture of the pieces. But this is like the design that is played in World Chess Championship, like grand tournaments, games and everything. So although they don't actually play with the plastic pieces, online when I was purchasing this box, it did say that the pieces themselves are an accurate representation of what exactly, like size-wise and dimensions-wise, exactly what is played in the official tournaments. So that's really cool. I know a lot of people wanted me to review this set before, and therefore I decided to go ahead and pick up a box like this. It really wasn't that expensive. I think on the official website, the link to which I will include in the description below, this particular chess set was priced at approximately $50. The official website is not the only place where you can pick up one of these, just because it is so popular. I picked up my chess set from House of Staunton, just because House of Staunton is usually running some kind of discounts. And this time around, I think they were having a 10% off discount, and additionally I was able to take another 10% off with my gold member discount, which knocked the price down from about 50 to 36. However, I had to pay for shipping since my order was less than $100, and the shipping was about $14, so it bumped me back up to about 50 bucks. But it doesn't matter. I think expect to pay about $50 for this. The one thing about House of Staunton, I mentioned this before many times, is their shipping, at least their shipping in my experience for where I am, it's like very fast. In fact, I ordered this particular chess set on like a Thursday afternoon, and I ended up getting it on a Friday morning, which is unheard of. It literally seems like they package and ship your order before you even confirm the purchase button. Like, that's what it seems like. But either way, that is one of the things about House of Staunton that I kind of like. Back to when I did the video on the Square Off Pro, I remember a lot of people were ordering from the original Square Off website, and they were having some issues waiting for like weeks and weeks, months, because they were like back ordered and everything. But House of Staunton, I got my Square Off Pro in literally like a couple of days probably. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look. World Chess Championship set. If I kind of put it to the light, you can see that it still has the packaging on top of it. Therefore, I didn't actually remove it because I wanted to remove it with you guys, and so we can kind of share in the in the enthusiasm of unboxing something. Made in China. However, I believe from what it's written here, designed by Daniel Vale, hopefully I'm saying it right. The pentagram, 34 pieces, extra queens, foldable board. Down here below it says this is the official World Chess Championship design approved by FIDE for the FIDE World Chess Championship. Okay, do not give this chess set to kids from 0 to 3 because they could choke on the pieces. I guess it just has a little emblem. Okay, now before we start unboxing that particular chess set, I want to take a quick minute to show you guys this really cool little plastic table that I purchased from a store maybe a couple of months back. This set me back maybe $30–40. It's really not that expensive. It's one of those little foldable tables. A lot of people here in the States have seen these. I'm sure in other countries they're also very common. A table like this weighing at about 20 pounds. Has a nice little handle here on the front that you can use to carry the table around. I think this is a really neat and very practical table for a lot of people that might be looking for some kind of a table to take with them, maybe to a park or to some kind of an event. For chess players in particular, I could see that a lot of people might have a lot of benefit from a table like this. Let's say your friend invites you somewhere to a park or to somewhere, say, hey, you want to play a game of chess, and you're not sure, are there going to be tables there? Are there going to be chairs? Or are you guys just going to bring your chess set and set it out in the dirt? Or you know what the situation is going to be. A lot of times parks have tables, little benches and stuff, at least the parks here, but some parks might be different. And so this fits in the back of your car, maybe in the trunk. You can just pop it in. You won't even know that you have it. In fact, you can have this in your trunk forever and just sort of keep it in there. And that way, you know, like I said, it's a neat little option. The table unfolds. I'll show you guys. It kind of pops. There's these like little plastic right here hinges that keep the table sort of locked in when it is folded together, and then you sort of pop it and it kind of clips like that. These little legs come out like this and then they get secured. I mean, we've seen this is a very relatively simple table. The nice thing about this particular design, and I'm not sure I'll be able to show you guys clearly, but here you have 4 holes where you can adjust the table height to 4 different levels, which you can set it from a low table to a high table, which means that this table is not only practical from a sense of being very mobile. I mean, what other chess tables can you like take with you? But also it's very adjustable. So let's say you're playing a game, but you're using small chairs or something, you could always lower the height of the table and voila, you know. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is that a lot of times when the conditions of the day are different, it's really hard for me to be able to find the room to film my chess set videos. And so this particular situation, I did remember to bring this table, and therefore just wanted to share it with you guys. I mean, why not? So when you fold it out, it's relatively big. I mean, you're looking at what, approximately maybe like 4.5, 5 feet maybe. So you have plenty of room to even have possibly 2 games, because I'm looking at this and I'm pretty good with spatial orientation. I'm thinking you can set up 2 games right next to each other if you wanted to, or if you wanted to just have free space, you can have your large chess board here, and then you can put all the pieces on the side. It's relatively sturdy. I mean, you guys see, like I'm leaning in on it. It's it wouldn't wobble. So just wanted to give you guys another option. You know, it's something that a lot of people might find useful. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna grab a chair and we'll open up the chess set together, okay? Okay, so hopefully the chess set's gonna stay in focus, and let's go ahead and we'll open this this chess set here. Gonna open it up together and look, super exciting. I should do more unboxing videos together with you guys, because I think that way we can share the excitement of opening something together like this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look. You get this particular box. Really cool looking box. Now that I removed the plastic, it's now the Academy Edition will come in this box, okay? If you order the World Chess Championship set, like the wooden ones, it's gonna come in a really cool rectangular like box that's gonna be a little bit longer, and all the chess pieces in there are gonna be standing, and it's like really cool. I saw pictures. I don't have that particular chess set. I would wish to maybe have it. It's about 500 bucks, and maybe sometime in the future I might get it, and that way we can take a look together. But today we're going to take a look at this one. It's got a little tiny thing that you just kind of pop it out like this, and nothing else here in the box. That top is done with. World Chess. Okay, so this must be the foldable chessboard. It says here World Chess. It's a nice gray color. Hopefully the color is going to be... It's one of those boards that looks like it's yeah, so it's one of those cardboard boards, as you can see. It's got this sort of a deal. I'm not super big fan of this sort of a deal, but I guess due to like the design of the packaging, they really can't do like a foldable board. I mean, they could have probably done a silicone board, but they got this. So I'm probably not gonna use this particular chess set with this board since I have so many other boards. I can use it on wooden boards, but that's what we have. Okay. You've got this little right over here. I'm gonna hopefully be able to show you guys a little light pentagon thing, and a dark one right over here. The notation on the side here and on the bottom, on the top, so all around. Easy to take notation if you have the letters and the numbers written on the board. Okay, let's take a look at the chess pieces. That's the exciting part. Looks like we have light pieces here and dark pieces here. Well, and that's about it. I don't think there's anything else here. There's just this sort of a cardboard packaging inside that's meant to hold your pieces sort of confined to a smaller space. That way they don't like rattle around the inside of the box, and kind of makes it look, the presentation looks a little bit more professional. So that's that for the box. Not much, no instructions, nothing, I guess. Let's take a closer look at the pieces, huh? Okay, so I set up all the pieces on the board so we can take a closer look. As you can see, it's a very distinctive looking chess set. Unlike the chess sets that we've seen before, I guess it sort of has an amalgamation of many different chess sets that we've seen. What do you guys think? I think they went for this sort of a minimalistic approach, especially with the knights. Here we see the light pieces. The dark pieces look like they're like purely dark plastic, and the white pieces are white, essentially ivory white. They're not tan or anything. We're going to take a closer look at each one of the individual pieces and talk about the design here in just a moment. Here's the top view of the chess set. As you can see on the side, we do get the 2 additional queens, so that's pretty exciting. As indicated by the website, these particular chess pieces, size-wise, are going to be the same as the chess pieces played in like the World Chess Championships. So that's really exciting. You get to play the same type of shape and everything, size as some of the grandmasters out there, so that's really cool. Alrighty, my friends, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at these chess pieces up close. We're going to go ahead and start with the kings. You can see that the kings are going to look quite a lot different than many of the kings we've seen in some of the other chess pieces that I've reviewed. Mainly the top looks very much so distinctive. The very top portion of the king is made a lot more conservatively than some of the other kings that we've seen before. The finial on top looks like it's kind of not fully developed, or maybe it starts off, as you could see here, with what looks like or might look like a cross that we usually see from a king, but it's sort of molded together with the rest of the piece, so we don't have an actual fully developed cross. Part of the design on top, we have these little cross hatch marks that are actually somewhat deep and give this king actually more of a look of what I would expect from a queen. And then moving forward down below, we see we kind of have a very, very sharp convergence down into the usual rings we see at approximately this height on many other kings. In this particular case, we do see like a one small ring and then one large one, and then it sort of converges down in the same fashion that this part here converges down. We have the convergence from the ring down into the body. Another step here, and then down below, pretty much very similar to many of the other kings, plastic and wood. Felt on the bottom is different a little bit. It's thin, it feels thin, but it's not like paper, so kind of has a sort of a velvety feel to it, so it's like fabric. We've seen when the felt gets this thin, a lot of times it's it doesn't look as good, but in this case, actually, the way that it feels, it does feel nice and soft, but they've made it a lot thinner than some of the other felt we've seen. As far as the weight of these chess pieces, I almost didn't find my scale. My scale tends to travel around the house quite a lot, so but I did find the scale, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look and weigh these pieces out, and particularly because I feel like these pieces are not very heavy. So let's take a look. Light piece, light king, 28 grams, only 28 grams. And then the dark one, 28 grams. 28 grams. We've seen plastic chess sets a lot heavier. So 28 grams, guys. And that's a relatively light king. Let's take a look at the queen. Here's the queens. As per usual, we get 4 queens in this particular chess set. The queens are going to be a little bit shorter than the king, but not by much. As you can see, if we look closely, that the top of the queen almost ends at where, like, the only extra bit of height that you get from the king is actually due to its finial, and the queen is I mean, it's a little bit shorter, but it's you could see it's not that much shorter. I'm guessing that since they play this particular chess set in World Chess Championship games, then it's been made to have the pieces at a certain height that are going to be, you know, best suited for those games. But the queens, like I said before, they're not super elaborate. The top portion right over here, we can see the spiky parts are not sharp. They're kind of dulled down, but it's not like super rounded like we've seen with my previous video where I showed you guys the queens to the Dubrovnik set. But it's kind of like a normal, very normal, standard looking queen. And then in this particular case, the felt, we get a dark felt with dark piece, light felt with the light piece. Oh, we get the same thing with the king as well. See, the dark pieces have this dark felt, and then the light pieces have the light felt. I guess that's kind of cool. I'm used to having green felt, but we have what we have with this particular chess set. Let's weigh the pieces. The dark queen weighs in at 26 grams, and then the light one weighs in at 26. So literally like a 2-gram difference between the king and the queen. That's the closest I've ever seen any particular chess set be similar as far as weight goes. Let's go ahead and jump to take a look at the bishops. Bishops are also relatively tall. Let's take a look at the queen right next to the bishops. For a lot of people, the transition of height between the pieces matters quite a bit. So the bishop is shorter than the queen, but also not by much. And then size-wise, it's still, there's a nice transition, but the transition here is very, very, like, marginal, as you can see. Cuts into the bishop are nice and straight, very modern looking, but then here, as we could see, maybe if you guys are able to catch that, but at the bottom of the cut, you have this sort of a little tiny circle, and then it sort of goes back up into a straight cut. Also part of the design of this particular chess set. Different color felts. Let's weigh the bishops. I'm actually interested to see how much these weigh. 20 grams for the light bishop. I'm assuming 20 grams for the dark. Yeah, 20 grams for the dark. We're not going to see a difference in weight of the dark and the light pieces since these are all plastic. So there you have it. What do you guys think about the bishops? Instead of like having a round ball on top, you could see that actually the very top of the bishop has this sort of a flattened area. It's slightly raised, but mostly flattened. And it almost looks like they took a ball that would normally sit on top of the bishop, and then they just like cut half of it off. Interesting design choice. I mean, this chess set look aesthetic overall from what I can tell. I mean, it doesn't look absurd or anything. It looks like a nice chess set. It's just interesting design elements. Knights here look very, very minimalistic, very crude, not a lot of detail. It is through the knights that we start to see what the design choice of this particular chess set was made, just because you could see there's no eyes There's the mouth part is very, very conservative. There's just like this little tiny lip at the bottom under the nose. The nostrils are present, but they're not like holes. They're sort of these indentations on the side, as you could see. The mane on the back is also very, very much so, almost not even existent. It starts off flat here, and then it comes up to where the ears are, but it does not protrude forward, you know, in front of the ears or on top of the head. The ears are also, they don't look at this, like when you look at the design, the ears don't come out of the side. So it's a very streamlined look. I'm guessing the knight design specifically chosen for proper ergonomics, for being able to lift your chess set up quickly in blitz, bullet type of games where you really cannot miss and you have to pick up the piece and place it, especially in a situation where you're playing a World Chess Championship. You do not want to have any issues with having any discrepancies in chess pieces to where, oh, you know, the ears were too big, I grabbed it and then ended up putting my knight in the wrong space or whatever. So they're trying to minimize any issues with ergonomics as best as possible. Like I said before, very minimalistic look of the knight, kind of futuristic maybe. The knight is substantially shorter than the queen or the king. In fact, it is shorter than the bishop as well. If we set these next to each other, we could see that there's a steeper drop off in the height difference between the bishop and the knight as opposed to the first three pieces. The knight is going to weigh in at 25 grams for the light knight and 25 grams for the dark knight. So 25 grams approximately. Like every piece here weighs about the same almost from what it seems. Every piece seems to be like in between 20 and 30 grams. Rooks also are relatively conservative looking. As you could see from the king, where it has this sort of the ring, and then the ring sort of has this convergence, same design element from the queen and the convergence, bishop convergence. We have the same thing that we see here. We don't oftentimes see a ring around the top of the rook like this, but I guess they decided to sort of have it match the other pieces, so they created this very, very slight ring on the outside here. And once again, it has the same type of a fall off right over here and this little step. Other than that, it's a relatively normal looking rook. In the top of it, we could see right over here, there's this sort of a shape that's supposed to be reflective of the overall design. We've seen that shape on the board, on the front of the box. So that kind of gives it a more of a distinctive, you know, look that this particular rook belongs to this chess set. As far as weight of the rooks, the light rook weighs in at 20 grams, so the lightest piece we've seen so far. The dark one weighs at 20 grams as well. A little bit lighter than our knights. All the pieces seem to be a very similar weight. Not very heavy, to be honest with you. We've seen some other plastic chess sets where the king weighs in at like 70 grams. 60 is pretty normal. 50 is going to be on like the normal side. When you start to get into like when a king weighs in 40 grams, that's usually like a lot less weight. This one's like 28. I mean, these pieces are light. Let's take a look at the pawns. Here we have the pawns, the light and the dark. We also see by comparison, size comparison right over here, we have the king. So pawns are obviously going to be approximately, I read somewhere in the book that it's good to have the pawn height be half the height of the king, but that also depends on whether or not you're dealing with like a 4.4-inch king, because in that case that might occur. But if you're dealing with the king that's a little bit smaller, like in this case, it's not a 4.4, it's more like a 3.75 or something like that. You might have, when you stack the pawns up, you might have a difference in height. So Pawns looking just relatively normal. Once again, we see the same type of a design. We have that one ring, and then it sort of drops off, and then there's this little ledge right over here, and then it continues on in a relatively normal looking chess piece. The top of the pieces, I could say the ball is a decent, not oversized, relatively proportioned to the rest of the chess piece. As far as the weight, I mean, these are probably going to be the lightest pieces of this entire set. Yeah, 12 grams for the light and 12 grams for the dark. Not very heavy, not very heavy. I think the Paulson chess set that I have, the 4.4 Camerata Collection Paulson, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think the pawns were like 25 grams each. This one is 12 grams. And that is light, very light. But there you have it. As far as the overall finish of the chess pieces, the dark pieces and the light pieces are all matte finish. They're not glossy, as you could see. And then they do have a seam present. I'm going to try to show you guys the seam in the light. Okay, the seam is going to be right here somewhere. Do you guys see the seam? It's present, but it's very, very, very hard to notice. I mean, you really have to, I've shown you guys many other plastic chess sets. You really have to kind of move it around quite a bit to be able to see the seam. I mean, you can take a nail, and if you're going like around the smoothness, you might be able to find the seam. Yeah, so it's not like super smooth, but at the same time, it's still quality finish as far as you could tell. The entire chess set looks nice. It's well finished. You know, it's really a question when you're looking and you're evaluating any particular chess set, you have to ask yourself whether you see, or in my case, whether I see any particular areas where I would say, well, they could have done better. Just because the design of this particular chess set is the way that it is, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Because the weight of it is maybe lighter than some of my other chess sets, doesn't mean it's bad. Now, if one king, for example, was 40 grams and the other one was 80 grams, then I would say, what gives? Why is there such a big distinction? But there's no discrepancies as far as what we can tell. If one knight here looks this way, then the other knight's going to look pretty much exactly the same. They're not going to be different heights or anything like that. Same goes for the other pieces. So, having said that, you know, as far as what I see, it's a chess set that's been made relatively well. It's on the light side, but you know, I think it's a nice playable chess set. I don't care much for the board itself. I don't care much for these little folding boards. It's still easy to enjoy and play games on it because it's, you know, it's going to be a nice board, and overall the pieces look great on it. But it's, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose like a foldable board and just buy these pieces and get yourself a foldable board, throw these pieces into like a carry-on bag, and take these pieces with you to tournaments. So I think that's also a great option. Okay, so my final conclusive thoughts about this particular chess set is I think it's well made, and it's made as indicated based on size, dimensions, and everything, exactly like the professional chess sets out there, like the wooden ones. However, this is not a wooden chess set. It's plastic. It's going to be a little bit on the light side. I have not had the chance to review the wooden chess set, but I'd be actually kind of interested to know if the wooden chess set's also kind of on the light side. I think the question stands as far as who this particular chess set's been like designed for. What's the target audience for this particular chess set? Probably from people who are watching World Chess Championships and they're looking at the chess sets that are played in those events, and they're like, hey, I want to play on this particular chess set. I think, yeah, for in that particular situation, it's a relatively inexpensive way to get similar type of chess set as like the professional grandmasters and all. But $50 is, I mean, a little bit on the steep side. So I think that overall it's a nice set, but for that price tag, I've seen other ones that are also pretty nice. But Let me know what you think, and hopefully everybody have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye bye.